What up, you fluffy bastards? My name is Liquid Blitz, and people seem to enjoy my Uzi versus Vector video that I made for PUBG recently, and I thought I'd do the same thing for two other weapons that are similar to one another, the AKM and the Beryl M762. Most people tend to prefer one or the other, but they might not know the specifics, or they just want to see them perform side by side in a video. And as my subscribers know, I love me some specifics, so let's dive right into this. As usual, I've put timestamps on the screen right there next to my beautiful fluffy face, just in case you want to skip back and forth and don't want to listen to me the whole time. First, let's look at the stats, and then we'll do some recoil tests with and without attachments. Okay, right off the bat, the damage is very similar. 47 for the AK and just 46 for the Beryl. But the Beryl more than makes up for that with a significantly faster fire rate, 700 rounds per minute versus the AK's 600. Now, just an extra factoid I thought I'd throw in to put things into perspective, the M416 is also 700 and the SCAR is closer to the AK at 625. Anyway, damage and fire rate let us work out the damage per second while spraying. Now here I calculated the AK has a surprisingly low 470 DPS versus the Beryl's 537. And once again, to put things into perspective, the M416 does 478 DPS and the SCAR does just 427. So in terms of actual damage output, the Beryl is way ahead of the others, including the AK. They both have the same bullet velocity, mag size, and reload speeds. Now, for the hardcore players among you, you may be wondering about bullets to kill and time to kill. I'm afraid you're going to have to go on faith here. I solemnly swear I have done the research. The damage between these two weapons is so close that fortunately, the number of bullets to kill against all armor levels, against all body parts, and at all distances is essentially the same. There's one or two minor differences, but they're pretty much the exact same. As for time to kill, now this is a lot different. Again, you're going to have to go on faith here, but I have genuinely crunched, I brought out the calculator, I've crunched the numbers, and the Beryl consistently, I worked out, kills 15 to 16% faster in all situations. And that's purely because it's got a much higher damage per second. So, going off the stats alone, these two weapons are pretty much identical, except the Beryl shoots significantly faster, doing more damage per second and thus killing significantly faster. So just from the stats, the Beryl is off to a flying start, but clearly stats are only half the battle. Let's move on to side-by-side recoil comparisons. I love doing these things. Okay, before we look at the recoil with all the best attachments equipped, I felt, as I did with the Uzi and the Vector video, I felt it was important to first set a baseline by comparing the recoil with no attachments. As you can see, the Beryl's recoil with no attachments is off the charts, largely thanks to its faster fire rate. Something important to note here is how straight both weapons are in terms of the horizontal recoil, even with no attachments. Remember, you can counter the vertical recoil by dragging your aim down as much as is needed, but you can't counter horizontal recoil because each shot can either recoil left or right. This straightness is actually a huge plus in favor of both these weapons. Having said that, clearly, naked with no attachments, the AKM clearly performs better and is easier to control. Anyway, let's actually look at the attachments and then do another recoil comparison with fully kitted out weapons. As always, I've got everything on screen for you to see. Both weapons can equip everything from a red dot sight all the way up to a 6x scope, and both can equip all three muzzle attachments and all three magazines. But the Beryl can also equip any grip or a laser sight. Now, I'm not going to sit here and go through absolutely everything. That's why I've put it on screen so you can see the specific stats yourself and you can pause the video to have a look if you want to. I haven't included the light grip on screen because that's best for tap firing at longer ranges, like with the SKS, and you shouldn't really be doing that with the Beryl. And the laser sight simply gives you 30% more accurate hipfire. Anyway, it goes without saying that both these weapons, in my opinion, are best with a compensator because while that recoil is really straight, it's still damned high for both weapons. As for the best rail attachment for the Beryl, well, going off that logic with the horizontal recoil, it's already really good with the Beryl, so in my opinion, we don't need an angled grip like we would with the M4 or the SCAR. But because the Beryl's vertical recoil is so high, I think we need to bring that down as much as possible, so personally I prefer the vertical grip, just for the extra 15% recoil reduction, in addition to the 15% from the compensator. It also gives you less animation kick, which makes it easier to track targets while you're spraying. I'd say the second best choice for the rail attachment is the thumb grip, simply for the 30% faster aiming down sight. Anyway, let's put those on and test the recoil again. As you can see, with compensators and the Beryl having a vertical grip, they are pretty much identical, which honestly surprised me. I was not expecting that when I did these tests. Which actually, I suppose, leads to our final conclusion. Which is better, the AKM or the Beryl? Answer: the Beryl. When fully kitted out, their recoil is identical, but the Beryl shoots much faster, doing more damage per second, and just killing significantly faster. However, until you find a vertical grip and a compensator for the Beryl, the AK remains easier to control, but still does a bit less damage. So there's the answer, that the Beryl is faster, stronger, with identical recoil once you get the right attachments. The upside to the AK is it's easier to control than the Beryl until you get those right attachments. I suppose very loosely, you could say the AK is better in early game when you first drop, and the Beryl becomes better later on once you've got all the best attachments. Unless you're like a PUBG master of recoil and you can tame a naked, unruly Beryl. But I struggle with that personally. There's only so much room on the mousepad I can drag my aim down, you know what I mean? Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you found it useful or interesting. Like this video if you liked it, like this video if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more similar content, and subscribe to my brand new second YouTube channel if you want to watch me do full playthroughs of story and horror games. I also livestream pretty much every single day, but only over on Twitch. There's links in the description to absolutely everything. Liquid Blitz,